Hi, so it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Awesome. So if it's okay, we'll go ahead and get started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So throughout this past week, have you been thinking about changing your eating habits like we've talked about before?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. It's just, it's hard because I work at that fast food restaurant, so it's just like I'm there 7 hours a day. So it's hard to, when you're surrounded by it, trying to make some changes. But I'm trying.
So you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
You have that want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you think it's difficult because you're working at a place that serves food all day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough to make those decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you thinking on maybe a scale of 1 to 10, your ability level on changing your eating habits?
Like how do you think I can do it?
Yeah.
I think like a 7. Like I know I can, it's just like making those steps to actually do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you're about a 7.
Mm-hmm.
You really do think that you can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome that you feel like you can do that and you have that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also awesome that you've been trying. You mentioned you've been trying to do that during the week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great that you've been thinking about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So you obviously have this desire
Mm-hmm.
to change.
Yes.
So what do you think is something that you could do to help make that change?
I think just like packing my lunch a little more, going to the grocery store and buying the foods that I need to be buying, and just so that way I have my lunch at work and I'm not tempted to eat as much, the fast food that we serve.
So you definitely feel like you want to eat at work. It's hard to kind of stay away from those things. So your way of kind of getting past that would be to maybe pack your lunch, think about what you want to eat, meal prep before you go to work.
Yeah, I think that would help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried something like this in the past?
Yeah, I have. I'm pretty successful at it for I feel like maybe a couple weeks, and then maybe I just stop. I think maybe because I try too hard to do too much at once, and I just try to cut everything out at once. So I think I need to just maybe go into it more slowly and make smaller changes, and then I think I would do better.
So in the past you have tried to make this change, and you've been pretty successful. You just think maybe you need to take it a bit more slow, take, the baby steps instead of trying to force yourself to do it all at once.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful that you know that about yourself and about that ability that you have.
Thank you.
So it seems like you're very self-aware.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. So on one hand, you really like to eat the food that you serve. You find it tasty and challenging to not eat it while you're there. But on the other hand, you really want to make this change. So think about maybe in a few months, if you have made this change and you're successful about it, what do you think your life will look like? What do you think will be different?
I think if I make that change, I'll just be more confident overall, confident in myself and in my body if I lose weight. And then I think that'll just transfer into all other parts of life, like being more confident in school, with my relationship. So
seems like this is something that's really important to you because you want to be confident and you think that will transfer into your schoolwork, into your self-confidence. You think it'll just really help you overall.
I really do.
Okay. So if you had to make this change tomorrow, do you think that you would be able to do that?
Yeah. Just like we said, probably a little slower. Just probably maybe make a goal for tomorrow. Maybe not eat anything tomorrow or the rest of the week, and then maybe let myself have something on the weekend, or just trying to do smaller steps.
Right. Okay. So if I'm able to tell you something that has worked for clients I've seen in the past, Definitely making those baby steps, holding yourself accountable, which seems like you've done before in the past and you're able to do. So I definitely think that those steps that you want to take are achievable.
Yeah.
And it seems like you've put a lot of thought into this and you've done it before, so I know you have that ability. So do you have any roadblocks other than food at work that you can see getting in the way of making this change?
No, I don't think so, because I have the resources to go to the grocery store and pay for those healthier foods, and I just think it's just the temptations at work, and I think that's pretty much just the only big thing getting in the way.
Okay. So just the temptations at work, but you have the resources, you have the money to go out and buy groceries, you're definitely motivated to do it. So seems like your ability of 7 is pretty good. What would you say your desire is on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like a 9.
A 9. So we have some high motivation here, some high want. Why a 9 and maybe not, let's say, a 10?
That's a good question. It probably is more like a 10. Yeah, you're probably right. I do really want.
Do you really want it?
Yeah.
I can tell you want it. I can see it.
Thanks.
Okay, so how about, if it sounds good to you, we can meet again in a week. What do you think is your goal for that week when we meet next week? What would you like to have accomplished?
I think maybe when I see you next, I want to have packed my lunch every day at work and not had any food at work.
Okay, so packing your lunch, not eating any food at work. That really sounds like a great goal.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So if you have any questions for me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in and speaking a little bit about your desire to change, your ambivalence a little bit of what is holding you back. But I think that you've made a great plan for yourself, and I'm excited to see you next week.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.